Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's story. In this episode, what should have been a joyful milestone turns into one of the hardest battles James has ever faced. After years of loving Diep and building a future together, James finally decides it's time to get married. But instead of support, his father erupts in fierce opposition. Mr. Sun declares that if James insists on marrying Diep, he will cut ties completely. No father, no son, nothing left between them. While James struggles between love and family, Diep fears she's the reason for the growing distance. Stay until the end, because this confrontation will test the strength of their love like never before. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us. The phone vibrates right in the middle of James's meeting, slicing through the quiet hum of reports and keyboards. He glances down. Dad. His chest tightens, but he still picks up. Branch company doing okay? Mr. Sun's voice booms through the speaker, sharp enough that even James's staff stiffen across the long table. It's stable, Dad, James replies, pacing toward the window for privacy. But as always, the conversation veers. Tell me, Mr. Sun growls. You're still planning that ridiculous wedding with Diep, aren't you? James freezes. Here it comes. The storm he already knew was waiting. Dad, Diep and I have been together a long time. We've been preparing for this. Preparing? Mr. Sun snaps. Preparing to ruin your future? Preparing to embarrass your family? If you dare marry that girl, I will cut you off completely. Do you hear me? Cut you off. I won't acknowledge you as my son anymore. James almost drops the phone. His throat goes dry, the world outside the glass window turning blurry. Dad, don't say things like that. I mean every word, Mr. Sun spits. That woman is beneath you. You marry her, you lose me. And the line goes dead. James doesn't move. His hand trembles so fiercely the phone nearly slips from his fingers. Across the room, the employee who had been presenting silently collects her papers, bowing her head, not daring to interrupt the tension vibrating through the air. James presses a hand against his forehead. A cold sweat forms along his spine. His father had always been strict, but this was war. How could he make him see that marrying Diep wasn't a mistake? That Diep wasn't some burden, some stain. She was the one person who made James feel grounded, hopeful, alive. Yet now, choosing her could mean losing his father forever. At home, in the grand living room, with its crystal chandelier and polished wooden floors, the storm continues. Mr. Sun paces back and forth, voice rising with every step. That girl, he barks, pointing at the floor as if Diep's name itself dirties the tiles. That girl will drag him down. I won't let him destroy everything I built. Mrs. Huyen looks up from the sofa, her shoulders tense, her calm demeanor cracking. You're not listening, she counters, voice taut but controlled. James is grown. He knows what he's doing. You're blinded by sentiment. Mr. Sun slams a palm onto the table, rattling a vase. Diep is uneducated, poor, and brings nothing into his life. Except joy. Mrs. Huyen snaps back, finally standing. Except kindness, except a heart that has healed our son more than you ever have with your coldness. Mr. Sun glares at her like she's betrayed him. I worked my whole life so he wouldn't suffer, so he'd never struggle the way we did. And now you want him to live in fear like we did? Her voice cracks. You gave me a house and a car, but you never gave your family the softness they needed. He stiffens, jaw clenched, temples pulsing. If James marries her, he repeats, quieter but fiercer, he is no longer my son. He storms out, the door slamming so hard the chandelier trembles. Mrs. Huyen sinks back onto the sofa. Tears spill freely now, soft and helpless. James, she whispers into the silence. Your mother. I'm so sorry. That evening, James drives up a rugged hillside road, the off-road vehicle kicking dust behind him. Diep sits in the passenger seat, watching him from the corner of her eye. His silence tells her everything. Another battle with his father, another wound hidden behind that stoic face. When the vehicle reaches the top, James turns off the engine and steps out, circling to open her door. The wind up here is cool, scented with wild grass. Below them stretches a tiny settlement, red roofs glowing in the sunset, cooking smoke rising in gentle, lazy curls. Diep steps out and spreads her arms, breathing in the mountain air. I've never seen a place this beautiful. James stands behind her, sliding his arms around her waist. But his hold is different today, stronger, heavier, as if he's terrified she might slip away. I brought you here because, James swallows, because I need to tell you something important. Diep turns to face him. For a second, the sunset catches in her eyes, making them shimmer like glass. Half hope, half fear. He takes her hand and leads her toward a wide, flat rock overlooking the entire valley. The sky looks like a painting. Orange bleeding into pink. Pink melting into purple. The sun hangs low, as if pausing on the horizon to listen. Diep leans her head on his shoulder. What's wrong? James breathes deeply, letting the crisp mountain air push away the knot in his chest. My dad, he doesn't want me to marry you. Diep stiffens. He said if I do, he'll cut off our relationship. Silence. Even the wind seems to quiet. Diep pulls back, her hand trembling in his. James, I don't want you to lose your father because of me. He shakes his head immediately. No, don't say that. Don't ever say that. His voice cracks for the first time, raw and unfiltered. I'd rather lose everything than lose you. She presses her lips together, eyes wet. I don't want you to choose between us. But I already have. James suddenly drops to one knee. Diep gasps, hands flying to her mouth. He opens a small velvet box. 2 rings glint softly in the fading light, like tiny suns refusing to die. This isn't the third proposal, he says with a shaky laugh. It's me putting the ring on first, because I'm ready, more ready than I've ever been, and because losing you isn't an option. Tears burst from Diep's eyes. Her voice trembles. I'm sorry for rejecting you before. I was scared I wasn't good enough, scared I'd ruin your life. She pauses, wiping tears with the back of her hand. But now, I can't reject you again. James slips the ring onto her finger, and something inside him loosens, like a knot finally undone after years of tightening. Diep stares at the ring, voice barely audible. It's so beautiful. James rises and pulls her into a tight embrace, burying his face in her hair. We'll marry, he whispers, even if the world stands against us. Diep clutches him back. James, even if you're busy, even if life delays us, even if your father hates me forever, I'll wait. The last beam of sunlight dips behind the mountains, leaving only their silhouettes, clinging to each other beneath the vast purple sky. Two rings gleam softly in the growing darkness. Two hearts choosing each other, even if it means losing everything else. Two souls preparing for a wedding that the world might reject, but they will not. Part 1 ends here. James drives down the mountain with one hand on the steering wheel and the other holding Diep's fingers tightly. Neither of them speaks, but their hearts beat in the same steady rhythm. One filled with certainty, the other with fear. The sky outside the window has darkened, layers of clouds heavy as if mirroring everything weighing on their shoulders. Back at Diep's small home, the porch light flickers gently. She steps out of the car, but James catches her wrist before she lets go completely. "Diep," he murmurs, searching her eyes. "No matter what happens next, I'm choosing you." Her lips curve into a fragile smile. "And I'm choosing you, always." But even as she says it, her fingers shake. James notices. He knows she's scared, not for herself, but for him. Inside, Diep prepares a simple dinner: fish soup, steamed vegetables, and rice. She hums softly as she cooks, but James can see the tension in her shoulders, the way her hand lingers too long on the ladle, the way she stops every few minutes, lost in thought. He moves behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist, chin resting on her shoulder. "You don't have to pretend with me," he whispers. Diep closes her eyes, letting out a shaky breath. "Your father hates me. He doesn't know you, but he hates the idea of me," she corrects gently. James turns her around, lifts her chin. "Then he'll have to learn, because you're going to be my wife." The word wife sends a small tremor through her. She bites her lip, tears glistening again, but not from sadness. From the overwhelming reality that James isn't backing down. They eat quietly, each lost in their own worries. After dinner, Diep walks him to the gate. The night is clear, filled with the sound of crickets and distant motorbikes. "Good night," she says softly. James leans down, kissing her forehead. "Good night, fiancé." She blushes and pushes him playfully, but her eyes glow with love as she watches him leave. The next morning, tension ripples through the Sun family home. Mr. Sun drinks his coffee in silence, his posture rigid, his jaw tight. Mrs. Huyen sits across from him, her eyes swollen from crying the night before. She finally speaks. "You're hurting your own child." "He's hurting himself," Mr. Sun shoots back. "Love isn't a crime." She tries again. "Love blinds," he thunders, slamming the cup onto the saucer. The porcelain rattles violently. "That girl is not worthy. She's not our class, not our match, not—" "She is good-hearted," Mrs. Huyen interrupts firmly. "And she has stood by James through storms you don't even know about." Mr. Sun's face reddens. "I don't care. If he marries her, he is dead to me." The words hang in the air like a sharp blade. Mrs. Huyen covers her face, shoulders trembling. "You will regret this," she whispers. "A father should never be the one to break his child's heart." Mr. Sun looks away, refusing to soften. But deep in his chest, something twists, a pain he won't admit. Meanwhile, James meets Diep at the morning market. She's arranging vegetables, her hair tied in a neat ponytail, her hands moving quickly as customers swarm the stall. When she sees him, her eyes widen in surprise. "You came this early?" "I needed to see you," he says, stepping closer. "Last night, I didn't sleep." Diep lowers her gaze. "Because of your father?" "Because I'm afraid you'll change your mind." Her head snaps up instantly. "James, no, I won't." He exhales slowly, relief softening his expression. Then we start planning. Diep's breath catches. "Planning? The wedding?" "Yes." James smiles gently. "Even if Dad refuses to show up, even if he cuts ties, we plan anyway." Diep grips the edge of the stall, heart pounding. "But I don't want you to lose your family." James steps closer, lowering his voice. "I can't lose you either. And if my father loves me, truly loves me, he'll come around. But if he doesn't, then I'll still have you." Diep nods slowly, tears slipping down her cheeks before she can stop them. James wipes them away with his thumb. "Don't cry," he murmurs. "Today should be happy. It's the first day we start our future." Diep's lips tremble into a smile. "Okay, then what do we do first?" "Choose a date," he says. She gasps. "Already?" "Yes, because I'm afraid if we wait like last time, we'll miss our chance again." A customer approaches, and Diep quickly dries her face, returning to her work. But her heart is soaring. That evening, James returns home late. The house is quiet, lights dimmed, tension thick enough to touch. Mr. Son is sitting in the living room, staring at old photos of James as a child, photos he had taken himself. James walks in, stopping in front of his father. "We need to talk." Mr. Son doesn't look up. "If it's about that girl, save your breath." "It is," James says calmly, "and I need you to hear me." Silence. Then slowly, Mr. Son lifts his head. His eyes are sharp, but beneath the anger lies something else. Fear. James steps closer. "I love her. I'm going to marry her." Mr. Son's jaw tightens. "Then we're done." The words hit like a blow, but James doesn't flinch. "Dad, I don't want to lose you, but I can't lose Diep either. She gives you nothing." His father spits. "She gives me peace," James replies quietly. "She gives me purpose. She gives me a home that isn't made of glass walls and silent dinners." Mr. Son's breath falters, but his pride refuses to bend. "You choose her, you lose me." James inhales deeply, voice steady. "Then I choose her." The silence that follows is deafening. Mr. Son's eyes widen, just for a second, before they harden again. "Get out," he whispers. James's chest tightens painfully, but he straightens his shoulders. "I hope one day you'll forgive me," he says softly. "But until then, I'm still your son, whether you claim me or not." He turns and walks away, each step heavy but resolute. Behind him, Mr. Son's face crumples, not in anger, but in heartbreak. Yet his pride chains him to the sofa, unable to call his son back. Outside, under the street lamp, James pulls out his phone and dials Diep. She answers instantly. "James? It's time," he whispers. "For what?" "For us to start the wedding preparations. Officially." Diep covers her mouth, overwhelmed. "James, are you sure?" He looks at the house behind him, his past, and then at the quiet road stretching ahead, his future. "I'm sure," he says, "completely." And for the first time in days, his heart feels light. The war with his father has begun. But the wedding with Diep? That begins now.